Welcome. This is Football Made in Ghana. My name is Fentuo Tahiru Fentuo. On the show today, like I talk, I'm about to do a very serious issue. All right? Slapping, chasing, and kicking people is not allowed in football. On the event of the 20th or the 21st anniversary of Menace, a day just before that, some fans somewhere in BA decided that it is good enough for them to slap people and chase other players of other teams around. I'm talking about the people from Nswatreman. The match self, they involved in Nswatreman. Bafo Soccer Academy. What has it got to do with Nswatreman? Why are you beating other teams' players? So on the show today, for 1 hour, what I have decided, and that's it, what I really want to talk about, if I speak in broken English, it may not come out the way I want. So today, one time only, I'm going to abandon the pidgin and speak in ways and as slowly as possible and as sensible as possible. So those who have ears will listen, and those who have mouths will share the message. It's an editorial, and we are tackling the issue of hooliganism in Ghana football. I'll take you back last season. All of the documented issues of hooliganism in Ghana football, from the top division to the second division to the first division, even to cup competitions. Pretty much everywhere you pass, Ghana football is littered with issues of hooliganism. And the variety of the attacks on players, on match officials, on team officials, on supporters, all of this together presents a serious case that needs tackling. So what we will do is take a short break. When we come back, we'll start the conversation. And it's live and interactive. So I'm interested in your thoughts and how you think we can address the issue of hooliganism in Ghana football. This be Football Made in Ghana. Make it go anywhere. Hi, welcome. This be Football Made in Ghana. We're doing an editorial on hooliganism in Ghana football, and this is in connection to the Menace disaster. On Monday, we commemorated yet again the events that happened on May 9, 2001. It's been 21 years since 126 people lost their lives. This is the bottom line. And every year we make it a point to remind ourselves of why that event must not happen ever again in Ghana football history. But as if to tell us that in 21 years we have learned absolutely nothing about hooliganism and how much of a disaster it can cause in our football. Just the day before the 21st anniversary commemoration of the event. And it's so typical that in Ghana's Division 1 league, it was them that had to prove to all of us that we learned nothing. And I tell you what, I take you back May 9, 2001. When many people set out to go to the stadium, not a single one of them knew that they would not make it back home. It was another normal football game, as normal as it can get. Get up in the morning, have breakfast, maybe go to church, greet your parents, head out to the stadium. Simple, to watch a football match. The events of that fateful evening still linger on. Families have been divided. People's educations have been truncated. And people's sources of livelihood were ended on that night. 126 people lost their lives, officially. But the devastating psychological effects of that day, of that night, remain till today. Just dying is a physical phenomenon. But the effect it can have on all of us leaves a lasting memory. And you're seeing the images there. People trampling on each other. Parents crying, looking for their children. Children crying, looking for their parents. Not a single person. Not one person would have watched these scenes on television and be pleased. Not the least. And I'm reminding you of this simply because this is our focal point. This has always been the reference point every time we speak of hooliganism. This is the second biggest stadium disaster in the history of African football. So this is what it is. This is the bottom line. The gory images of May 9, 2001. So we made a pact from then on that we will never, ever experience this again. But I'll tell you, since May 9, 2001, in 21 years, if we are adding every single person that has died as a result of football violence in all the separate incidents, we may surpass 126 people. People that have died directly or indirectly as a result of a football match since May 9. If we put the numbers together in those 21 years, we may surpass 126. So what kind of people are we? And that brings us to the events of Sunday, just a day before the May 9 anniversary. A football match between Bafo Soccer Academy and Tamale City. This is a very simple football game in Division 1. Coming into the match, both teams leveled on points at the top of the table. Chasing promotion in that zone, it's always very competitive. All right? So Bafo Soccer Academy were languishing somewhere in 6th, if I'm not mistaken. They had no business needing to fight or beat or slap somebody as a result of securing a draw at home against the team that was top of the league. So on a footballing merit, there is not a single person that will look at that game or that will look at that matchup and think that Bafo Soccer Academy deserve or should be beating Tamale City FC comfortably. So the match ends in a draw. And then players of Tamale City are attacked, beaten, their bars, windows broken, mercilessly, a day before May 9. Totally unacceptable. And this has been the story of every single season since May 9, 2001. And in last season, we almost reached the pinnacle of hooliganism in Ghana football. And I'm going to take you through them, every single one by one. But like I tell you, you want a clear understanding of how backward we have time traveled since May 9, 2001. The evidence is in this report. So take a look.
It's been 21 years on from the infamous May 9 disaster at the Accra Sports Stadium, which claimed hundreds of lives. But there are still some major doubts on whether the country has made any concrete progress in the area of hooliganism. That incident in 2001 was supposed to be the catalyst for drastic change, especially concerning fan behavior. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. Sunday, May 8, 2022, saw yet another frightening and barbaric act of hooliganism, this time in the Bono region, where the team bus of Tamale City FC was brutally attacked after their Division 1 League game against Bafo Soccer Academy. The incident resulted in a number of players and officials being admitted at hospital following various degrees of injury sustained. This adds to the growing list of high-profile cases that have flooded the Ghanaian football ecosystem in the last few years. And it begs the question on what measures are being taken to finally rid Ghana football of this canker. GFA General Secretary Prosper Harrison-Ado is urging clubs to educate and sensitize their fans on the effects of hooliganism on the general growth of the game.
I would take the opportunity to hedge and to call on the clubs to intensify the education to the supporters and the community that comes to watch the games. Because from the sporting side, we punish the club, we punish the ownership, any fine they pay. So the individuals who come and cause the team to waste scarce resources, they must identify them. The thing is that we are in Ghana. We have Ghanaian laws which says that you cannot assault anybody. So anybody who goes under the guise of football to assault any person must be given to the police, and then the police will take them through the processes laid down by Ghanaian law.
He has also encouraged community members to come forward with information on the perpetrators of these offences in order for the authorities to easily clamp down on the problem.
What we've said is that the local community, they know these people, these few people who come to mar the game. So they must help in identifying them and then ensuring that the police can arrest them so that they are taken through the courts. For example, in Tamale, when the incident happened, those two people who jumped onto the inner perimeter to attempt to attack the match officials were identified. They were picked up later, and as I talked to you, they were put in cell and they were taken to the courts. So their matter is still in terms of adjudication going on in Tamale. So they are in the firm grip of the police. And that's what we advocate for all communities to do. Because if we can fish out these people, very soon we'll have only the people who enjoy the game going to watch the matches.
It is unfortunate that yet another incident of this nature was recorded just a day to the 21st anniversary of the May 9 disaster. A small ceremony was held at the Accra Sports Stadium on Monday to mark the anniversary of the disaster. But amid all these protocols, the major question still rings. Have we really learned any lessons from the events of May 9, 2001?
So that is what it is. All right? We are still attacking fans, attacking players, fans attacking players, slapping people in 2021. But let's take you back last year. Exactly this moment. Last year. In fighting for promotion. Now, R2U, bear in mind, we're going to the BA, the Brona-Ahafo region. And every single one of these incidents are connected. So you have to keep in mind. In February 2021, last year, at the start of the football season, a few months into the football season, fans of Instructriman, there you go. They assaulted R2U players and officials, slapped them, broke their back, beat them. And we always talk about punitive measures and how strong the punitive measures should be. So in this incident, when Instructriman players, or is it their fans, assaulted R2U players and officials, the GFA took action and banned Instructriman home grounds indefinitely and then gave R2U 3,000 Ghana cedis to cater for medical expenses. This was what happened. Take the money and go and cater for your medical expenses. And that's it. And then they banned the home grounds. Now, every single one of these incidents, like I said, apart from being related, also always check the action taken by the Ghana Football Association. And let's see why the same action isn't exactly serving as a deterrent to the others. And why the actions keep repeating. Now, this is Instructriman fans attacking R2U players. Now, the Monday incident, or the Sunday incident, just before the May 9 celebration, was fans of Instructriman attacking R2U players, not R2U, Tamale City players, after a game between Balfour Soccer Academy and Tamale City. So what is the relationship? Why are fans of Instructriman attacking Tamale City, a team from Tamale, when the game was between that Tamale-based team and Bafo Soccer Academy. What has Nsatreman got to do with that? Now, you go back last year, and you have the answer in there. This was a recorded incident of Nsatreman fans attacking RTU, not Tamale City, another Tamale-based team, RTU. They attacked them and beat them up brutally. Now, sometimes there are some things that become obvious when you dig deep. And the relationship between Bafo Soccer Academy and Nsatreman is a very curious one. Now, the people that run the team may contest. And in fact, even as a journalist, if you try to dig deep, you may run into trouble because you may find different names here and there. But the truth of the matter is, Bafo Soccer Academy and Nsatreman FC have the same bankroller with the same interest. So how is it possible that our football system and the ownership structure is so relaxed, is so porous, so much so that one man can own two teams in the same division? Because the only reason Nsatreman fans would take interest in a game involving Bafo Soccer Academy, a team that they're supposed to be competing against in the same division, the only reason they'll be so interested in that game is because the interest is only one. Ask yourself, put it this way, why would Manchester United fans go and beat up players of Chelsea who came to draw against Man City? You heard something like that before? That is exactly what has happened. What's your interest? Structure. Porous system. This is why we are where we are. Bafo Soccer Academy in Nsatreman, based out of the same area, with the same bankroller, competing in the same division, several points apart from each other. Bafo Soccer Academy is languishing mid-table in that zone. Nsatreman are joint top of the table. So if Bafo Soccer Academy hold Tamale City to a draw at home, what's your interest? In fact, aren't they supposed to be local rivals? Shouldn't you be happy that they are not winning matches? Why are you beating the opposition? So that's one issue the Ghana Football Association needs to address. But let's move it on from February to Wamanafo. Now, this was a very famous incident. All right, there it is. Wamanafo Royals fans attacked and beat up referees after the game with Tanoba Falkwa. And this incident, we have videos to show you. The GFA took action. They banned the Wamanafo home grounds indefinitely. And this is what you see. Police personnel present and the fans in there slapping. And in fact, I really do wish that we had a certain insert so we could hear what they were saying. But look at the referee, looking completely helpless, unguarded. And look at a football fan. Look at what he's doing to a referee. And the worst part of this is that Wamanafo so much became the reference point for many other football fans in other centers who were using what happened to the referees in the Wamanafo game to threaten other football teams, officials, and coaches. Here is Coach Bashir Hayford. Last season, he was in charge of Legon Cities at some point. Here he is, speaking about threats that he received following a Ghana Premier League match. And the reference point the fans used was Wamanafo. So Wamanafo fans attacking and beating up referees, they've now become heroes. So much so that some other fans were taking inspiration from the fans of Wamanafo. How could hooligans be this emboldened? Why would some people feel so comfortable beating referees? So much so that others feel what Manafo did was so heroic that they could use that to threaten others and tell them, if you don't take care, we'll beat you like the way Manafo fans beat up the referees. Take a listen to Coach Bash.
My worry is that the officials were threatened. They were insulted, threatened that they would beat them, as had happened in the one man so four or something. And so the referees were afraid.
I think they were intimidated.
They were intimidated. Now they at the tunnel, they told them that if even one of them chased them into this, I was annoyed even chasing him into the room, telling him if they should lose, they will beat him like the one man four something. Yeah. And so that one man four, the referee doesn't want to also be beaten like what. So he was scared. And look at what happened. Now what happened to everybody saw it. People have been calling. They saw it live. Everybody was looking. What happened to that last goal that he didn't take? You see, these are some of the things that happen in Ghana football. If you were a coach, you really don't know whether you are going forward or you are going back. You prepare your team and you come forward and the referee robs you. And then they tell you they will beat you like Omanasofo. They will beat you like Omanasofo as well.
So Lagos City felt threatened.
Yes, yes.
Wamanafo will beat you like Wamanafo. Really? Really? Wamanafo is now the biggest example of how well to treat people. And you notice the action, the same. Indefinite home ban. And this Bash interview came 1 week after the Wamanafo incident. 1 week after the Wamanafo home grounds was banned. Some other fans in other venues still didn't care. They wanted to act exactly like the Wamanafo fans. Why is that? How is that possible? Let's move it on. In 2021, Techiman City. Now, this is a very interesting story. The referees abandoned the match in Techiman. And this was a game involving Tamale City. Now, remember, this season alone, Tamale City, this is 3rd April. In February, Tamale City had already been beaten brutally. Now, they were the ones that were beaten just last Sunday as well. And this is them, yet again, Tamale City in Techiman. And this game involved Techiman City, Mickey Charles and his people. The referees abandoned the match halfway into the game after abuse from spectators. And the most interesting thing about this game, and we'll show you the referees abandoning the game, and there they are. The fans have packed into the stadium, and they have used an armored car to come and convey the referees away from the match grounds, leaving spectators. And maybe these spectators, some of them didn't even say a word. They just came there to enjoy a football game. The match hasn't ended, and this is how we want to promote our football. Look at that. They're standing there watching helplessly. And you know what the abuse of the referees were? In fact, according to the story, according to the referees, some fans in the stadium insulted the mothers of the referees. The insults got so bad, they moved from just the referees to their mothers. A referee is officiating the game, and every time a referee runs towards the touchline, then all he hears is, "Oh mame, oh mame, oh mame something, oh mame something." He's a human being. He's a human being. And that is the verbal part. Because the abuse was both physical and verbal. It wasn't just verbal abuse. Because somebody might be standing in there and telling me and asking, "Oh, but if it's just verbal abuse, it's normal." But it wasn't just verbal abuse. They said they didn't feel safe. And that game was abandoned. Last year, 3rd April. And look at the dates. We started from February, we're in April. It's almost like 1 incident per month or 2 incidents per month. That's how bad it was. And in this match, of course, there was consequence. Tamale City were made, Techiman City were made to forfeit the game. They gave all the points to Tamale City, because it is the responsibility of the home team to provide security for the referees. And that is another very backward arrangement. Why must the onus lie on the home team to provide security? And not just providing security, they have to bear the cost. So, what's happening is, if I don't have money, what I will usually do is, instead of the requirement for me to have maybe 15 police officers, maybe 2 military men, and then fire service, I'll go and negotiate. Because every extra policeman costs money. So if I'm supposed to pay 2,000 Ghana cedis for the full security arrangement, and I don't have 2,000 cedis, I can go and pay 1,500, then they reduce the number of police officers and the number of military or fire service. That's why we end up doing, and you see every single one of those incidents, there's always a security official, but they are completely helpless because they're always overwhelmed, and it's not acceptable. Now you remember the story of Fire Rangers from last season as well. They were not just involved in legal battles with the FA over their status in the league, because remember that they were kicked out, but even before that, there were incidents of hooliganism involving them. They played a home game against Heart of Lions and another game that ended abruptly. And this was the same weekend. The Tamale City, the Techiman City versus Tamale City game was the same weekend as this match. So in one league, Division 1, 2 different zones, 2 matches were abandoned on the same weekend simply because of referees feeling unsafe. In fact, in this game, the referees were held hostage. The center referee, after the game, he couldn't leave. So in the end, of course, Fire Rangers were declared losers of the match. Because you see, what happened was, the referee said he didn't feel safe to continue the game. Then the Fire Rangers fans said, you must continue the game and you must finish the match. And they held him hostage on the pitch. They said, continue the game. And this is supposed to be a model football club owned by a man that runs the biggest football club in this country, arguably. Fire Rangers against Heart of Lions. The referee says he doesn't feel safe. He can't continue the game. He was being pelted with stones. He says, I can't continue. The fans say, you must continue. You're not going anywhere. He sits in the center of the pitch for hours on end. At the end of the day, he found a way out of the stadium and the match never finished. In one weekend. In one weekend. And the best thing the FA could do, obviously, instead of trying to improve security or helping improve security, they just take the 3 points and give it to Heart of Lions. And that is it. The same decision they took against Techiman City in their game involving Tamale City FC. Take the 3 points, give it to the opposition, and that's it. Think about how to enhance better security next time. It's always about what is a rule book. We forget the big picture. And it's the same thing we do when referees even make mistakes in matches. Like we did to the referee Paddy in the game involving Kotoko and House of Folk. It's always about punishing somebody strictly by the law, but nothing about improving and ensuring that those mistakes are not repeated. We talk about why referee Paddy made that mistake, and that if he had communication devices, if he had VAR, he probably would have changed his decision. Referees make mistakes all the time. But nothing about how to improve, how to help him. It's all about, you've made a mistake, we'll review the tape, and this is the punishment according to the book. Bam. So a referee abandons game because he doesn't feel safe. We go to the book. If a match ends abruptly, we give the points to the away team. Boom. That's what happened. Techiman City versus Tamale City. Boom. Heart of Lions at Fire Rangers. Same thing. Nothing about ensuring there is no repeat. No improved security arrangements. Nothing. And this is always the trend. And we've been doing the same thing, exactly the same thing. Take 3 points, deduct 3 points, and that is the end of it. Nobody cares. We will take a break. When we come back, we will talk about the audacity of some football fans, not just about attacking the players of other teams, but to the extent of even attacking head coaches of opposition teams. And at the end of all of this, we also have some recommendations for you on what the Ghana Football Association can do in order to help fight the menace of hooliganism. This is Football Made in Ghana, an editorial on hooliganism in Ghana football. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. This is Football Made in Ghana, an editorial on hooliganism in Ghana football. Kevin the Menace. We're taking you back to every single incident in chronological order. Let's move it on. A Ghana Premier League, and you see the ones we showed you were all in Ghana's Division 1. But even in the Ghana Premier League, the top division of Ghana football, last season alone, you all remember the famous incident involving Ebisuan Dwarfs and Legon Cities in Cape Coast. The referees abandoned the match halfway into the game simply because they said they didn't feel safe. A Ghana Premier League match, and we took exactly the same decision, obviously. They awarded the points to Legon Cities. That was what it was. Nothing about what happened with the referee, how we could help improve the referee's safety. And then the same Ebisuan Dwarfs coach, or Ebisuan Dwarfs team, he goes to Brecum Chelsea. Then after the game, visuals emerge of him beating up mercilessly. And this was still in April. We haven't even entered May yet. All of the incidents we've discussed were from February to April. A head coach of a Ghana Premier League team was beating up mercilessly. The GFA just watched on. And you see, we didn't make this up. Listen or watch the man himself tell his story of how he was manhandled by fans of Brecum Chelsea after a Ghana Premier League match.
We came out for the first half, we played in the first half. We said our prayer with the players. And just when we were going back to the dressing room, there were about 30 supporters in front of the dressing room. They said they wanted to search me because they were suspecting I had to do on me. So when I said no, it was only my phones and other things. They forcefully opened my zip and all that. And when I was trying to resist, they started punching me, held my leg. I fell down. Some were kicking, some were just punching me. Just look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Okay, I can see your shirt is torn. And I have your wallet too with me. It was brought by a supporter.
I don't even remember.
He doesn't even remember where his wallet is. They grabbed him everywhere, including his balls. You can't do that to a married man. Are you serious? Why would you do that? This is the head coach of a Ghana Premier League team, manhandled by supporters. And you see, and it's not just and that's the thing. It's always fans. But it's not just fans. Even officials of other teams, they do it all the time. And Nkranza Warriors, last season, RTU really suffered. And Nkranza Warriors fans, last season, beat up RTU fans after a Division 1 league game, brutally. They stoned and held the referees and the RTU players hostage. The referees and the RTU players, all of them together, hostage. It's almost as if anybody can do whatever they want. Anyone can do whatever they want. We'll show you visuals of the incident shortly. There, look at, those are players, that's a football player of RTU. Look at the RTU players. Look, that's an official. In fact, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. After a football match, it's unbelievable. And this is what happens all the time. Referees, footballers, completely brutalized. And if you go through the incidents, every single one of them, another theme is becoming obvious. A lot of these incidents are happening in BA, and you wonder why. Of course, we know the people there are passionate about football. I love BA teams. But there are aspects of it that even we ourselves and everyone in that region will look back. This is how to build football. This is not how to play football. And you talk about incidents in BA, even Editorial Stars, they themselves and Kotoko. You remember the famous incident where Asante Kotoko fans claimed that that Editorial Stars fans completely manhandled them. And these are officials of teams. They're supposed to be there. A board member was manhandled during the Ghana Premier League football game. And we talk about the Ghana Premier League football matches as if this incident should not be happening there. And that's the truth. It shouldn't be happening at the highest level of our football. But they do. And no action is taken. Even in cup competitions, if I move you on to what happened between Karelia United and Medeama last season, in an MTN FA Cup match, after the game, Medeama players were completely brutalized. In fact, I remember some people were arrested as a result. Those people have since been released, no action taken against them, and we don't know where they are. And look at that. Of course, the action was the same. Ban the Karelia home grounds. But by the start of this season, Karelia United were back there playing matches comfortably. So what is an indefinite ban if it only lasts 3 matches? Because per the GFA's definition of indefinite, usually it takes 3 matches maximum. And then they come back and change their mind. And say you can go back and play matches there. And everyone knows that. So clearly, it's not strong enough. It doesn't work. And this is exactly what the situation has been for 21 years. And it's almost as if nobody cares. It's like we are concerned, but we don't really care. Being concerned is not enough. Taking action and changing your ways. You can't keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again and expecting different results. We issue out the same punishments. We issue out the same punishments all the time. But clearly, nobody is listening. It's like no one cares about what punishment it is. Because they know exactly how it would go. Indefinite ban, after 3 matches, after 2 games, we are back to our home grounds. And this has been ongoing for a long time. So for the people at the Ghana Football Association, maybe it's time to change your ways. Maybe it is time to take measures that are more punitive. Maybe it's time to start to demote clubs. There's Congress. You can make those changes. Because I'm sure somebody's probably watching and saying, well, the rules don't allow that. You make the rules. You can change the rules. But you know why the Ghana Football Association cannot do that? Because the people who are supposed to be voting for those changes are the people whose clubs are involved in these things. So when then they bring the proposals in front of them, they won't vote to repeal any laws, to make the punishments more stringent. Because if they do, it won't take a full season for their club to be affected. And this is the ugly truth about why our Ghana football and hooliganism is not stopping anytime soon. This is not just about attitude. Yes, attitudes are there. And we keep saying that we are collaborating with the Ghana Police Service and making the... See, these issues of assault are not just football issues anymore. If you slap a referee, that referee should be able to get you arrested and have you prosecuted in court. If they slap a referee and they look at the RTU player that was bleeding so badly, you're saying that if this thing happened on the streets of Tamale or on the streets of Techiman, you're saying that somebody will not be going to jail? So when we continue to treat football hooliganism and football assault like it is different, it's in a different realm, this is the results we get. Maybe it's time to change our approach. And we'll tell you what exactly we think you can do. Be a United fans. And this is one of the biggest stories from last season. You remember it clearly? You don't? Let me remind you. A referee awarded a penalty. They chased and beat up the referee. Now, forget about what you see, the punitive action, because punitive action was actually taken. They banned the BA United home grounds indefinitely, the same action. It was almost a default punishment. That was what happened there. But they chased and beat up, because you see, and the incident is so fun. The referee awarded a penalty to RTU. The BA United fans said that was not going to happen. They chased and beat him up. The match was interrupted. They went into the dressing room, brought back the referee. The referee came, and then he said, and guess what? He said the penalty, is no longer a penalty. He has waved it away. Boy, with no VAR. He was just threatened. So a referee awards a penalty. His assistant doesn't say otherwise. But because of sheer threats on his life, this referee came back and changed his decision and said that it's no longer a penalty. And then the game goes on for a bit, and this is what happened. You saw the visuals there. They chased him. Look at this. Oh, Maxwell Hansen. Look, somebody, oh goodness me. After the match, he said they squeezed his balls. This is somebody's father. It's somebody's father. I don't get it. And the people chasing and squeezing the referee's ball, I hope you are proud of yourselves. All because of a football match? You're going to try and kill somebody because of football. In 2016, we killed the referee in the Western region. We beat up a referee. The referee died in hospital. Why? We need to change our ways. And this is why we are where we are today. Hooliganism in Ghana football is going on and on and on and on. And some of the incidents, in fact, I've left them out. Last season, between Great Olympics and Hearts of Oak, we almost had another Menace. The fans rammed a gate, poured into the stadium. There was a near stampede. We can't even manage ticket sales well. If the stadium is full, it's full. You don't have a ticket, you have no business being at the gate. If people have tickets, they should have access to the stadium. If you deny 100 people with tickets and you leave them outside the stadium, they feel they should be inside the stadium, what do you expect? Because I cannot have a ticket and come to the stadium and you tell me that the stadium is full. So who is sitting on my seat? Look at this. Are there ghosts inside the stadium? This was, and you see, and we thank the commission that sat on the May 9 incident. Because if it wasn't for their recommendations, which helped in the redesign of the stadiums, this could have been worse. Because part of the reason the May 9 disaster was so fatal was because the exit gates were tiny, were so small. Now the exit gates are big. So you see, as they're squeezing themselves into the stadium, the other gate is widening and is widening. This is the only, and somebody is behind. He's pushing the gate on people. He's pushing, he's trying to close it. The fans are pushing back. And all of this, the game is going on. Oh. This was in the peak of COVID. We are such a funny bunch. Unbelievable. This is the Ghana Premier League. A Ghana Premier League match. And we can go on and on. Because if you want to talk about every single incident, and this was just in the last 12 months alone, the cases of hooliganism in Ghana football in just 12 months. And these incidents were only in Ghana's top 2 divisions. Top 2. Even in women's football, it's happening. Women's football, women referees. You remember the incident of referee Bermanso? Oh my goodness. And it was a game involving prisons and I think immigration or something like that. Security services team. And the security services were, you see, the thing about the security services team is that the supporters of the team are the security officers. And they are supposed to be providing the protection for the referee. They are beating up a female referee because they were not happy with her performance. So, then they are imagine, think about it. They are beating you. They are slapping you. You see an officer, you're running towards the officer because in your mind, the officer is supposed to be protecting you. You run towards the officer. As you are coming, the officer is meeting you with a slap. It's unacceptable, honestly. We complain all the time about why Ghana football doesn't have sponsorship, why we need sponsorship. We say the Ghana Premier League has no headline sponsor. The Division 1 League has no headline sponsor. We struggle all the time for finances. Let's clean house. Because if we don't, nobody, not one person wants their product to be attached to a league like this. The entire football ecosystem in this country is getting affected directly and indirectly by this. And you see, a company like Star Times invested huge sums of money to broadcast the league. 2 seasons ago, even Star Times commentators and Star Times vans are getting attacked. You remember 2 years ago, the famous incident? We want our league to sell. We want to sell our product to the international world. Star Times is an international broadcaster. The whole African continent, everybody can see the Ghana Premier League games. They have gone to broadcast a match in Bechem, few meters to the entrance of the stadium. An articulated track has come to park there. Suddenly, it has broken down. Star Times could not get their van into the stadium. The game that was scheduled to be on TV was never on TV. And this was a game that meant a lot to the relegation survival of Bechem United. How is this okay? And you're telling me that of all of the days that a track can break down in such a convenient place, the entrance to the stadium, that's where the track that had no business passing there, that's where it came to break down. We have a few recommendations. Let's take a look of what we can do to try and salvage the situation. Number one, treat football assault cases as regular cases. Now, I've pointed out that incident already. That number one, it's important for us to move away from seeing football assault cases as just football assault cases and using football laws to deal with them. Let's use general civil law to deal with them. So if RTU goes to Insatreman and Insatreman fans beat up their players, RTU should be able to go and lodge the matter at the police station, bring police officers to come and look for the people and arrest them and take them to court. And you may say that it will be difficult. People won't point them out. That's okay. But the matter stays there. And you see, we're actually helped by the fact that now a lot of the incidents are recorded. Because every time, you see, and it's not all the fans. You think that there are fans of Insatreman who support what happened on Monday or on Sunday? No. It's not all of them. So there are some of them that would be happy to see some of these fans go to jail for their behavior. So that is very important. Number two, and it is related to the first one, the best way to help fish out some of these bad nuts is to try and offer a reward system discreetly for anybody that comes forward with information on anyone that attacks a football player, a football official, or a referee at the match center. And make it attractive. Listen, Kroma Eshe, we need money. People will come forth. It's really that simple. The next recommendation, and this is important, let's change our regulations and make the punishments more stringent. Because the whole idea of banning teams indefinitely and indefinitely, it's not good enough. You should be able to kick out teams whose supporters misbehave. And I mean this. Because if you have a law that says that a team that doesn't honor a number of matches at the start of the season can be kicked out of the league, why is it not possible to have a law that says if you beat up officials or referees after a game, we'll kick you out of the league? How is that hard? Because that law already exists for certain incidents, for certain scenarios. Kick out teams. Let them take their nonsense and go and stay where they want to stay. You want to be fighting okay, go on. Football clubs don't do that. Turn your football club into a UFC fight club. You have no business being in our division, being in Ghana football. Let's push through those laws. Because trust me, nobody will start with an investment from coast up to Division 3, Division 2, Division 1, and then get kicked out for good just because of a few bad nuts. Just this season, already, the team Sky FC, the team owned by the MTN FA Cup chairman, they destroyed. It will keep happening. And I spoke to the man, Mr. Wilsonatha. He was distraught because clearly he wasn't happy with what happened. He doesn't like that his own fans are doing that to his team. So then you're telling me that if this man has an opportunity to fish out these bad nuts, he would not take it? Because if he knows that Sky FC can get kicked out of the league, trust me, any sniff of any fan trying to cause trouble, he will be the first to get him out of that place before trouble comes. But at the moment, he can protect them, even if he knows, simply because he knows that the worst he can get is a 3-match home ban. Or they say indefinite, and after 3 games, they are back. So what is his motivation to hang out those people to dry? Nothing. The motivation isn't strong enough. Change the punishment regime, change the laws, make them more stringent, offer reward systems for people that report hooliganism, and then on top of it, help our referees. And it will not be fair if I don't make this point, that some of our referees go to matches with a reputation. So for you, if you want your and respect your own safety, dinokre, integrity is your best bet. Always follow your heart, be honest, and referee the game to the best of your ability. Without your reputation, I'm not sure some of the attacks would come. And that's our editorial for today. My name is Fentuo Tahiru Fentuo. Go out there, support Ghana football, and stop hooliganism. Thank you, and bye-bye.